The year is 1914. Europe is on edge, teetering on the brink of chaos. Nations are filled with pride and ambition. Alliances are being formed in secret, and sense of tension hangs heavily in the air. Not long after, will not just Europe, but the world be engulfed in the flames of war. This is the Great War, otherwise known as World War One. We start our journey in the Bosnian city of Sarajevo. Here, the Archduke of Austria-Hungary, Franz Ferdinand, lays. He and his wife are on a ride through the city. Now, not that long ago, Bosnia was annexed into the empire, and certain people there did not like that. So, a bunch of Serbian nationalists were waiting to assassinate the Archduke. One was,
Nedeljko Čabrinović.
who threw a bomb that ended up exploding after the Archduke went past it, injuring other people. Because of this, Franz Ferdinand and his wife decided to visit the hospital where the injured people lay. However, on the way, the driver ended up taking a wrong turn, and by coincidence, a man by the name
Gavrilo Princip.
found the Archduke ready. He would take his chance, and just like that, Franz Ferdinand and his wife were dead. Understandably, Austria-Hungary was quite mad at this, and they blamed the Serbian government to be involved in this incident. So, they sent Serbia a bunch of impossible demands for them to do, which they refused to. This led to the Austrian declaration of war in Serbia. However, Serbia and Russia were close allies, so Russia declared war on Austria-Hungary to protect their Serbian ally. However, the Germans had an alliance with Austria-Hungary, leading to Germany declaring war on Russia to support their ally. However, France and Russia were close buds, so France declared war on Germany to protect their Russian ally. Then, the Germans declared war on Belgium to get around France's defences better. Belgium had a secret alliance with the British, leading to them declaring war on the Germans. Japan also joined the war on the side of the British, taking the German Asian colonies near China. The Great War had truly begun. Initially, the Germans had good luck, pushing back the Russians and even almost capturing Paris from the French. Austria-Hungary was less fortunate, as the Serbians were successfully defending the territory, and with Montenegro joining the war against Austria-Hungary, it made their job especially harder, especially when the Russians invaded the territory. Let's skip to 1916 to talk about the trenches. They were a living hell for all that had to endure the experience there. You would wait for months, lose hundreds of thousands of men, to only gain a few kilometers of land. The conditions were absolutely terrible. You could easily get malaria, diarrhea, trench foot, and more. In fact, a case showed that 1/3 of all deaths or injuries from the Western Front were from the trenches. It was truly horrible. Back to the war. Both sides were desperately trying to get others to join their side with territory promises. One of these nations were Italy. Italy had an alliance with Austria-Hungary and Germany, but until this point, it stayed neutral in the war. Finally, Italy had joined the war and betrayed Austria-Hungary and Germany. They joined the side of the French and British. But not to worry, the Germans managed to get Bulgaria on the side and trying to get the Ottomans to join. Now, when the war broke out, the country was split onto which side they should join, and they now were on the side of the Germans. Now we go back to Russia, who is being pushed back really hard, like so hard. They had a revolution. The new government, led by Vladimir Lenin, pulled Russia out of the war, losing 1/4 of their population and industry in the treaty. But not to worry, they would get it back after the war. Now, the Germans have to focus on one front, the western one. But it is here where they made a grave mistake. See, the British had an ally, the United States of America. They were looking like they would join the war on the side of the British. So, the Germans sent the Zimmermann telegram to Mexico, asking them to invade the United States, which would distract them from joining the war. However, the message was inquired by the British, who prompted it to the Americans. And that was that. The Americans joined the war on the side of the British, which basically ruined German chances of winning this war. One by one, German allies slowly collapsed. The first was Bulgaria, then the Ottomans, and then the Austrians, who mostly collapsed due to internal issues. With all of their allies gone, the Germans too surrendered on November 11, 1918, ending the First World War. The peace treaty was gruesome. Germany lost parts of land and transformed into the Weimar Republic. Austria-Hungary was dismantled, Bulgaria lost small parts of land, and the Ottomans were carved up. And with that, World War I comes to an end.